And we're live. Alright, welcome back to the stream, guys. Today is May 31st. It's Wednesday, I think. Is today Wednesday? Yes, it is. Today's Wednesday. Gotta do a couple of things to get the stream up, and we should be solid. Boom, boom. Logging into everything. Just give me a second. Alright. Again, this is for education. No. This is entertainment purposes only. I am not a professional. I am just a person who is trying to learn as much as you guys are. I did not save this from yesterday. Let me real quick, I'm gonna take a picture of this. Sorry guys, give me one more moment. Horrible stream so far, I know. Okay. Copy image and copy link. So, copy image, copy link. Cool. That's gonna go there. I'm gonna log into my funded accounts. Well, eval accounts, but I'm trying to get funded. There, that there. That there. Okay. Now with that there. I'm glad I started this stream early. I just have to, put in my photos and everything for my trading journal. I obviously didn't journal last night, but because of the stream, it makes it a little bit easier for me to go back and look at it. I'm just gonna put in Tuesday 5-30. that's done with that. Now, as I go back and let's start with the third. Oof. Get that out of the way. Get this out of the way. This is still valid. This is not. Okay, relax, relax, relax. Yesterday's close, and then where are we at? Ooh. Yeah, see, we're still extremely overextended from everything. So that's not particularly great. We touched the overnight highs yesterday and then completely rejected. This, when I get into a lower time frame, that's going to be a little bit different. So, apologies so far. I'm just making sure that everything on the stream side looks good. If anything, just let me know. Type it in the comments and I'll be able to see that. Everything on the stream side looks good. Ooh, okay, that's my voice. Hello. I know, it's a slow start, but I log in early to see what's up and all the plots and everything. So this is still the low of last week, obviously. Hasn't changed. This gets updated closer towards the end of the week to see where we are here on this side. We're overextended on the 21, on the 20 in the Celtic channels, so I see like a continuation of a sell-off, at least through some of this. Again, this was all Friday, and we popped up 300 points. 350 points, all in Friday. Now, I think that's weak, because it was a Friday before a 3-day weekend. Memorial Day, specifically. So I see this candle getting eaten up over the course of this week. So there's that. Let's see. Yeah, saying we're really extended off of our EMA stacks. So that's a problem. Okay, let's drop down to the 4. Oof. That's a big break. Do we have any news coming out today? I know if something came out earlier. Nope. Well, technically, yes. It was the Canadian GDP. But that doesn't really affect me. Jobless. Sorry. U.S. JOLTS opens at 10. So, try not to get screwed over with that. Again, this is for entertainment purposes only. Nothing I say is advice and should be taken with a grain of salt, considering I am very much a beginner at trading. So please don't fuck yourselves over because you think I'm smarter than I actually am. Okay. Now, that being said, where are we? We're at the close. That's where we closed. We extended out. Well, this was in the morning, and then we just sold off all of yesterday. And then when we opened, continued to sell off. Yikes. Okay. Well, this obviously was solid resistance last night, but we'll take that off. Overnight highs, that is not where the overnight highs are. That is the overnight lows. Still technically going. I say overnight lows because it until 9:30. This is all pre-market session, so that's what the overnight is to me, is the pre-market. From when we closed last night at 4 o'clock, well 5 o'clock technically my time, but 4 o'clock until now, that's this, which isn't a lot. Let's see, do we have any fib retracements? I don't see that happening. Could the open happen and then it retests the morning? Sure. That's a pretty big gap though. Granted, it is really the only gap that we have. So there's that. 43.50. Okay. That's the only bounce I really see it for the continuation of the downside. It might actually hit that, to be honest with you. All things considered, it's not, what is this, 100 points or so? 100 points. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Off of the opening comes up, it hits this, finds a resistance, and then tanks the rest of the night. Yeah, I could see that. These are fibs and resistance lines through everything else. So we'll see that. We'll see how that goes. And that's a possible bounce from a while ago. I believe. Let me just recheck that. No, that's where that is. There's no other really bounce. This was just straight up. The next high point would be that, and that's a massive gap. However, if we drop down to the 1 hour, now it's a little bit more reasonable. There's a couple more jumps from it. I feel like that's just the same spot. Yeah, I have a zone here. But for the price to come down, it's going to have to go through these levels here. These clusters of resistance, and then also overtake this. Do I see it happening? Sure. Considering this massive spike and then a gap up and then flat, and then we peaked and then continued down. Do I see it happening today? This one's a possibility of it getting tested today. Maybe that's a stretch. 200 points. No, never mind. Yeah, I see it. I see. Correction. Again, this is entertainment purposes only. I am trying to get funded. I don't have a lot of time trading, so don't take any of this as actual advice. Do your own due diligence. Figure it out yourselves. And that's really all I got for you. But what I see is comes up here, tests overnight highs, and then tanks. Could it eventually come down to here today? Sure. I don't see it happening within the first couple hours. Yeah, that's really my technicals for the day on here. I don't see any real bounces that hit anything. And that's massive push. What the fuck happened? Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, gap down rules, really. The fact that we closed here and they were nearly 70 points under, I see it a rally up, resistance here, and then tank. That really shows what we see on the overnight. And then put an alert here for this, just so you know I'm not dozing off anywhere. That could happen sometimes. Let that be. Now, yes. What do you have for me today, Mr. ES? Okay, we're a little bit better in the zone. We're not, I mean, we're still overextended, but like, it's not horrible. Oh, I don't have the close of yesterday. Red text. Yesterday close. We completely smacked through this. Damn. Color do I have the overnight? I want to try to make these colors as blue. So This is interesting. Again, we're working at the pretty much the bottom of this. With this, it's a little bit less clean as the NQ, because this was a major sell-off all day yesterday, and then even in the overnight it was just continued selling off. With this, I see a touch here and then a rally. This is 8 points. Yeah, that's a pretty big move. So there's that. However, a realistic sense is that okay, overnight highs is a zone. That's a zone of a resistance level. 411 to 10. That's a half a point zone on a fib. That's a quarter tick on a fib. I'm gonna keep both of those up because though that's a higher probability of a bounce. The rejection of the overnight highs and also a fib retracement of all that. That's a higher probability of a bounce. Yeah. But again, same thing with this. I see off of structure alone comes down into a zone, finds resistance or technically support, and then reverts back up. That's assuming that Friday's price action actually holds. Again, I don't see. I'm assuming that most of the big money guys on Friday went on vacation because Monday was Memorial Day, and this was all the little guys that bought this all up, and now the big boys are back in town and they're about to eat all that shit up. So is it possible that this bounces off the overnight, comes up to yesterday's close or the overnight, and then tanks? Yes. Is it possible that we open and we just completely flush? Absolutely. So that's kind of where we're at with that. We're right in the middle of the channel, which is also the 21 EMA or the 20 EMA. But again, down here on the 4 hour, there's an exact resistance at this line. So this is the 34 right here at this line. So that will affect this. That makes this a little bit more difficult because that makes this trading day a little bit more up in the air. yeah. At least on the ES side of things. We'll drop this back to the 15 and bring me back my VWAP. Yeah, a little bit of an issue. So I'm gonna obviously keep my eye on that. Trading this seems a little bit easier and less of a problem, even though we're technically just at the bottom of this. I see at the open in 10 minutes a long setup to yesterday's close or even the overnight highs, but it really comes down to what price action does. Regardless, I don't trade the first 10 minutes just because things like this happen. There's sometimes issues with the price movements and the things, so I don't like to trade the first few minutes. Okay. Yeah, so we got 10 minutes, 8 minutes to see what's up with this. And then from there we'll be able to really enter trades and more specifically worry about what's going on the chart. Alright, so with that, I'm gonna mute myself for a couple minutes, do a quick thing on the computer, make sure that stream is nice and healthy, and then we'll be able to come back to this and actually do some stuff. I was hoping that the news that came out earlier had some more strength to it, but I guess the news at 10 o'clock is going to be the one to worry about more. So, be right back. Alright, I'm back. Making sure everything is good. Obviously, you know, nothing has really happened. There we go. We got 1 minute left. Alright, and that's the open. Let's see what's up. Yeah, that's... Alright, so that level held from the overnight. I say overnight, but this was really technically this morning, 20 minutes ago. Sorry. Apologize for that. Drinking my lone drink. That looks like it's going to be a sell-off day again. But I could be completely and utterly wrong about that. Let's see what the follow-through is for this. We're under VWAP currently. But VWAP really isn't that far. It's only 15 points away. And that is a lot of aggressive buying coming in at the bids and things. So we want to see this continue. That movement up. I'm seeing buyers coming in, but price hasn't caught up with that just yet. If you're really aggressive, no, I wouldn't do that, really. Again, entertainment purposes only. Watch a chart with me. Watch my stupid mistakes. Watch my good ones. And hopefully you learn something from it. If not, at least you catch a smile knowing that you're not the only person that's having difficulty trading. Just fixing my other charts. Okay. Again, I see aggressive buyers, but price hasn't shown that, which doesn't particularly help my strategy of wait for it to pop up and then come down. I'm kind of just in the middle of nowhere here, and I don't particularly like being in the middle of nowhere. mind you guys, I'm trading an evaluation account. So this is not real money yet. I'm trying to get funded by Apex. And it's only for entertainment. And personally for my own sake, for journaling. That's pretty bullish. I like that. It still hasn't picked a direction. This is a barcode right now. And the ES has definitely picked one, which is down, but it's hitting a support line. So that being that's not too bad, but not clean either. Yeah, price definitely wants to continue down. I'm going to stay out of it until... For me to enter a short, we need to crack under the overnight lows and then find a resistance at it. So come down, break through it, retest it, and then on the retest, on the fill of the retest, I'll enter to the down. Otherwise, I'm waiting for this to pick a direction. I know that Delta is showing pretty flat. I lied, and that was a really weird update. Mr. Delta, you alright there? Well, what are you doing? Alright, well, we're gonna take that as Delta was increasing, and now it's flatlined. Genuinely, this I'm not entering this, but this is giving me that feeling of we're gonna melt to the downside, but my indicator isn't showing me that. It's showing me really undecided, and price, although it hasn't went up yet, doesn't mean that it's gone down either. We're kind of just in this area with really low volume. So I'm gonna wait for what this candle closes at to choose a direction. And I think it's gonna go up. I just don't see the volume behind it yet. That's a pretty dramatic decrease. Half the volume on an indecision candle is never a good idea to enter. Yeah. Again, this could find a resistance level here and then continue up. It hasn't cracked this high yet, though. That's where the high is. I'm obviously just throwing out all of my thought process through this, so that when I go back to rewatch it, I understand what's going on through my head. Because you kind of can't see my face, so you can't see my reaction to how price is going. So the best thing I got, or you got, or we got is my voice. the fact that we're continuing to increase price and delta is increasing but volume is kind of weak shows me that what we're probably going to do is snap to one direction with an exhaustion candle, and in this situation it's going to be a snap up, probably test the highs, the overnight, probably test yesterday's close and then flatten, or we slowly grind up until news at 10 o'clock, hit this resistance and tank. I know that I'm like really heavily on a short biases today. I just see with the price action right now and how hard it is to go up or to move in general, it's not great. 20-point candle, 24-point candle, less volume on this. Yeah, that makes sense. It's congruent, but it's not down by a lot. 8.4. It's down by what? 1.3. Okay. I don't know. I'm staying out until 1, it's clean, but 2, news. Because that news at 10 o'clock can really devastate you if you're not prepared for it. This is a pause candle before it goes up. It's hard to stay on my hands and just sit here and watch as price does this. But at the same time, I'm watching it and I'm speaking out loud, and I don't feel comfortable entering any of these trades, especially when there's aggressive buying and not a lot of people are coming in. And then it closed with an aggressive buy. But even then, this aggressive buying in that candle does not show that to me. You know, you see what I'm saying? For anyone that's watching, this is my cumulative delta. And what cumulative delta does is it shows you how many buyers or sellers are trying to enter the market right now. Right, so and that tends to be people who are entering on buying the bid and ask right now, or buying market now. You know, not people who have their stops there. Massive doji on DES. A 5-point candle doji on the ES. That is massive. And this is generally where I would usually enter, but again, there's news that comes out in 10 minutes. I don't. Well, okay. Yeah. Remember when I said there's an exhaustion candle that's gonna come up? That's as pretty good of an exhaustion candle as it is. And also divergence on one of my indicators. Okay, so now I'm waiting for this zone. I see it coming up to this. I don't like the fact that has no volume. This had a lot of volume, but that was also 2 minutes into the open. Yeah. I think the big boys are waiting to see what happens at 10. I have a feeling that as soon as this candle closes, it's going to get eaten up and continued up. Could be absolutely wrong about that. But we got a minute left in this candle. So we'll see. The way that this candle looks on the 5 doesn't look great. Even on the 15, it doesn't look great. My only issue is that because of how big this zone is, I don't particularly know where to enter. Am I bugging? How big of a... Yeah, it's a 20-point move. So like this whole candle can fit into this zone. Now I could buy at the bottom of here or buy at the top here in this zone. And, you know, so I'm waiting for it to come in and figure out what's up. Price definitely is struggling to go up, but it still has some room in it. I mean, it broke the high of this candle. And now we only have 10 minutes before news hits. It's just that when news hits, it's very much unpredictable. This is definitely higher. So there's divergence, but this has space. Like I said, this has another 20 points for the overnight high. I'm itching to enter, and I know I really shouldn't. I'm just like seeing this setup, and the fact that this wasn't able to crack this makes me feel like this is gonna tank. But it is at a resistance level of the close yesterday. And the fact, again, I keep saying this, but the fact that news comes out in a few minutes is a problem. And on top of that, the fact that it didn't just break this is also another problem. That's showing that there's some support here, and I lied. I'm a complete liar right here. Wow. As I was talking, it just kind of hit it. We got 30 seconds. Let's see how this closes. I mean, I saw it on the delta. And when this didn't crack over this, that's pretty significant. But I do not feel comfortable trading a few minutes before news comes out, because I could be right about this. This could full on tank, and news hits, and then it whipsaws up, right, to like just here, hits my stop, which would be above this, or even be above this, and then tank. It happens quite often. So, I'm more than happy to just sit here on my hands and knees, pause, on my hands, and watch this trade play out without me. It would suck, and emotionally that would hurt. I'm not gonna lie to you, that would very much emotionally hurt, but the ES is finding some support at one of my levels from the other day. And Delta is increasing it here, even when they're there, which isn't great. Isn't great if you were already in this trade. Luckily for me, I'm not. So, we'll wait. Pretty healthy spot, if all things considered. And even when I thought to re-enter down here, that would have been nice. But God, the 1 minute chart right now would probably looks nasty. Yeah, see, on the 1 minute chart, that definitely would have been very much enticing. I like going on the 2 minute chart just because it's a little bit slower and I don't feel as anxious seeing the price go up and down like it does here. Like, seeing these or seeing something like this does mess with me. But seeing something like this, it's a little bit cleaner for my brain. It does hurt a little bit not being entered in this here because I'm like at 40 points already. It's just the fact the price is moving fairly slow. Like, there's a lot of volume, but there's not a lot of participants, if that makes any sense. Here we are. Final seconds of this candle. And that's unfortunate. that's just really unfortunate. I genuinely thought that there would have been more things happening than what just happened right there. All things considered. Because I would have entered here and I said, oh no, news comes out in 10 minutes. I don't want to be stuck in a trade while news is happening. But, you know, it is what it is. We're testing the overnight lows. We've actually broke the overnight lows on the S&P. And we're now entering a fib zone on the S&P. No, we just tapped the outside door of it. I don't like these massive wicks on the S&P. Yeah, this is what I'm looking at. These massive wicks. This whole wick right here from 95 down to 92. That's 3 points of wick. And then the wick on the other side as well. Like, ends at the overnight low. It tapped it in here, and now that's very bullish, or fairly bullish, right? I don't like the fact that that's what it's looking like, even though I know that there's aggressive sellers here. Like, there's a divergence of sellers. There's a doji on the selling side, but massive candle up. I don't particularly like to see something like that. Again, I'm not entering a trade until my zone gets tapped up here, because I have a hunch that although it's going to take a little while to get up to that, it's going to get up to that. in the meantime. Oh, there's already a. This is my toxic trade right now. I mean, my 2R would have been hit, and then we would be waiting for a 3 or a 4R somewhere down here. You know. So yeah, but also. Here's a fib point. There's a fib point right here. Right where they are and a little bit lower. Right here. So that's unfortunate. I missed out on a pretty solid trade. I would have been a lot more anxious, to be honest with you. Jolts didn't really do what I thought it was going to do. But it is what it is. I should be, I guess, glad is the word. Jolt's job opening 10.1 million. And the previous was 9.5. So there's more opening jobs. Sorry, there's more job openings. So people are either creating jobs or people are leaving their jobs and leaving a vacancy. Tomorrow's jobless. Initial jobless claims. That's going to be important. Initial jobless claims and continued jobless claims tomorrow is going to be fairly important. Yeah, I'm going to stay here until around 11 or 11:30. If nothing shows, then nothing shows. Man, I'm tired. That's a 60-point drop. Well, so like the strategy does work, but I was afraid of the news that was coming out, and this is the candle of the news. That's what the news did. This and then this little blimp up. And if I was still entered in this, I mean I probably would have had a break even. Just out of curiosity, because I would have entered it somewhere in here. I would have had a 17.5, and then so it'd be 5 points away from my 4. Right, but that's not how much I would have been risking. I would have only been risking that. So it's more like a 6-to-1 trade. If it touches. Right there. Damn, that hurts. Because that would have significantly helped my account. It is what it is. The fact that this was just essentially a straight down shot, it's going to bounce up again. And when it bounces up again, I'm going to enter for a short on the reverse back down. Because I think this week is a shorting week. I don't see it being a long week. There's no shot. We're so overextended on the daily. like being this overextended from the 20, even being that far extended off of the 8 and the 5. No shot. No shot. Volume is fairly low. Oh. Yep, that's my zone. And never mind, the zone is invalid because this went lower and lower. Okay, so we'll wait until it finally decides to reverse. Yep. Yeah, don't hurt me. Don't break my heart like that. A trade like that would have rivaled my trade yesterday. Because I would have significantly sized up today. I went 5 contracts yesterday. I would have went 7, 10, something like that. I would have went like 10 contracts tonight. 10 micros. That would have been significant. I didn't execute properly. Correction. I did execute properly. I was just overly cautious. So I'll wait for when this decides to come back up. If it decides to come back up. See, now I'm replaying this trade, and my brain is like replaying how much I could have made off of this, because I'm seeing it in hindsight and seeing that the candle that I was really worried about is literally nothing. The only problem with doing something like that is that this could have been something, and if I added on risk, yeah, this is where I would have been, but this could have snapped up, and due to volatility I could have been filled higher than what I expected to be filled at. You know what I'm saying? So it was safer to stay out of it, although it is painful to watch this trade happen. Considering this is a significantly high pointage, right? Like, I would have been somewhere over here, and this is a 100-point trade. I would have probably captured to this line here and been out at this line, 85 points. $54, and then this top one, $65. See, like, that's a 9-point move, and that's if this doesn't continue flushing. But I don't want to enter a short here. This is at the bottom of the market. We made new lows. This is where we opened up. That's as far as we went, and then we launched up to here. But this trade has been my bread and butter lately. I've been capturing this when it fails a second high, and then this here fails. Then when there's a divergence here, and then the failure of this second high, like, that's usually this wins a significant amount of times. So, but just because that's the case doesn't mean that, doesn't mean anything. The low is 95. 95.75. And that broke new lows. This went lower, and this is a divergence. This is a point of where I see it flipping. But because I see it flipping here doesn't mean I'm entering. I'm going to wait for it to come up, retest that, and then I'm trying to target to this point. $64.53. And that's the zone that I want to capture. But I need to come up, retest, fail, and then go up again. We might not. This might just be Dud. I might have just missed the trade of the day, and then that's that on that. Yeah, I just missed the trade of the day. That's all it is. It's fine. Unfortunate, but really it's fine. It's fine, but it hurts. That's why I'm like mentally pacing back and forth and kind of repeating myself, because I saw that, and you heard it on the stream. I should have entered it, regardless of the news. I should have entered that. And if I got wicked out, I got wicked out. It is what it is. Oh, what am I saying? I feel like I'm giving up way too early. Like this, my move is still valid. It's just in the opposite direction. At some point, this is going to go reverse up. I just have to wait. Clink. No clink? Oh. It never hit 74. 25. Seeing a lot of buyers coming in at this point on the ES. Yeah. They just all entered in. And this was just down here and it snapped back up. Significant amount of volume. And people just slap that back down. So let's see what NQ does. NQ is holding. I think that says 43. So I mean that's the zone that I wanna be in for a continuation. Out of curiosity, for my own toxic self, 118 points. Sheesh.
Order submitted. Order filled.
Here. I'm risking that. 14282.75. Sell.
Order submitted.
Somewhere at this fib point, I want to take 2 off. At 14326.5. So.
Order submitted.
And then at that zone, I want to take the rest off. 14344.25. Three? Yeah, fuck it. Yeah. So.
Order submitted.
I know that's 6. I mean, I'm aware. I know how to math. I want it to break over this. Once it breaks over this line right here, the overnight lows, it should be a run. It should run up. If it doesn't, then it is what it is. This is according to this, I'm supposed to risk that. And if I do that, risks that's 2. Should I do that? I mean, this looks like a losing trade anyway. So, fuck it. $35.50. And then this. Oh, no. That's ballsy. I'm gonna put it here. Fuck it. I'm not actually risking all that. That's crazy. But if this fails again, then we're fine. Ooh. Well, that's interesting. Again, this could completely just say yeet and then stab me out. And if that's the case, then that's the case. But the fact that that hasn't crossed, that's interesting. And it just hit it. Whoa. Okay. Nice little stop losses over there. The trade's still valid, even though I'm in the red. Like I bought at the bottom of the market. Can it continue down? Absolutely. Is this a safe quote unquote bet? I mean, yeah. It doesn't get as safe as this, really. Obviously the safer option is to wait for this pullback here and then enter it short, but I really think it's gonna come into the zone and reply out. So that's kind of where my mindset is. I'm not moving my stop loss. I'm not doing anything. I think that this was the exhaustion. trade, and I think it's getting really dicey and getting really close to the stop loss, but it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. If it hits my stop loss, it hits my stop loss. The fact that there shows some signs of life, and the fact that we just like sold off all morning, you know, like I just gotta have to wait it out. I mean, I'm technically in the same entry point that I would be, but I think after all this candle right here is the safest candle to enter. You know, I entered early and I had to deal with this little scare with these three candles. But like I said, I think this is the safest bet. I might be getting a little greedy with this, considering that I'm going for a 7-1. Once it hits this, I'm moving my stop loss up to break even plus a couple points for commissions and stuff. It's kind of how I always do it. I bought the bottom of the market. Like that's as good as it can be. I'm hoping to see some actual follow through with this, because otherwise I'm gonna be a real sad boy. Take a sip of water real quick. Yeah, see, this is one of those moments where my feelings of what the chart looks like is telling me to just exit and take the 12 points and call it a day, right? Like it's $120, like that, get out. And I probably should, but I mean, this is one of those trades where I was like, where I kind of feel like just leaving it to do its thing, you know. Like I realized I entered early. I realized that we've been selling off literally, if you see this, just straight for the last 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes. Just straight selling. Even here, like there's some wicks, but for the most part, we were just down. So what I want to see with this candle is a fail of making a new low, and then it continues up. Then again, if it makes a new low, it's going to stop me out anyway, so it is what it is. On that note, I'm going to leave the chart up. I'm going to run over to the bathroom, and I'll be back in a couple minutes. And I'm back. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can move this clock over to the side somewhere. It's starting to get on my nerves. Okay, we like the way that looks. We don't like the way that looks. You see, delta is increasing slightly. And the same thing with the LBR. My only concern is that volume isn't there. Which is a problem. Good. I like that. And now that that's happened, I could okay, so see, do I move my stop loss? This is the part where I find some trouble. Do I move my stop loss up right here below these two candles at this line? Or at this line, or do I leave it as is? I'm risking 11 points. It's $22 a point. I'm risking $140 versus 4. I'm moving it. Only reason I say I move it is because at this point, if it comes back and slaps under this, then I'm 100% wrong. I like that I'm close to my first take profit. I'm 10 points away, but it's still not hit yet. And there is still about 5 points, 5.75 points of risk. 294.25 minus 289, 5.25. So times $14. That's $73 of risk. That's one of those things where I'm like, I can make this a fully risk-free trade, or do I wait until it hits take profit, if it hits my first take profit? I feel like at this point, with seeing with what it's showing me, is that I feel, see, that's that thing right there again. I'm saying I feel. Feeling isn't what trading is about, but now it's a fully risk-free trade. We'll see how this candle closes. Yeah, that looks weak. Let's see what the next candle shows. Okay. Now I want to see it to break this high. If it has a problem, yeah, see, I'm getting frustrated and anxious, but the chart looks good. It broke the high reluctantly, but it broke it. I don't like the fact that it didn't touch that. Ooh, okay. So see, now I'm in a little bit of a predicament. I'm gonna move that there. That way, one, I get to capture some space. I give it a little bit of room to move, but I'm not giving it that much room. This one candle from here to here is 14 points. top to bottom is a 14-point candle. I'm okay with that as a risk, because if I'm right and it goes up, then cool, I'm great. If I'm wrong, I still capped pretty sizable amount of points. $23 points.
Order filled.
Okay, so
Order canceled.
am I wrong in doing so? Potentially. I might have left some room on the table, but with the way that that candle snapped, this is one of those candles where you're looking at it like, oh God, no, oh God, no. You know what I'm saying? 16-point candle with from open to close, but there's a wick here for another 3 points, 4 points. I locked in $318 on that trade. It's not bad. Obviously, the real move was this opening to the bottom that I did see and I could not execute on, but I'm still okay with this. Still a bit lower than where I would like to be. $17. And honestly, I should have closed it here. When it started to reject and it was here, I should have closed it there. But instead I gave it up until here. It is what it is. This looks like it's going to tank back down. Honestly, it might be a fib point on this. Boom. Right here. That's the fib. Excuse me. But if you see it, this to here is still a zone that I would have wanted to tackle. It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, wasn't the best trade. So yeah, I would have been pissing myself because my original stop loss was here. Or like here. 35.34. We'll say 34.5. I'm just curious on what it could have been. 483. So I gave up $170-ish. 167, I think, is the actual number. It is what it is. I would still be in this trade if I never moved it. But that doesn't mean that this is still a good trade. With how strong of a drop that is, that's not helping me. Especially because the ES is going sideways. Like, ES is going sideways, and this is what the indicators are showing. That does not look good. That looks like a pause continuation to the downside. So, I mean, the reality is I should have probably flipped or reversed the trade here and then took it to the downside again, or to see how far down it can go. I mean, let's see where the price. So far, I've just missed my entries. Yeah, see, that's my break even. It would have been a losing trade. At least I was able to capture some profits. See, my only concern is that, like, I wouldn't want to short here. Excuse me. I wouldn't want to short it here because we are at the bottom of the market, but today the market is selling off. Probably because tomorrow is the debt ceiling talk. So that is a concern. Regardless, I feel like I should call it a day there. I'd rather call it a day than sit here and make some more mistakes. I mean, technically, this was a 3-to-1 at its highest. And then a 1.5. I got out with a 2-to-1 because that's how much I was risking to make initially. So not awful. Definitely wish it was a better trade, but, like, again, not awful. I'm gonna this was my actual setup, and it really kept going. And I really at one point I'm like, all right, well, when are you gonna reverse if you are going to? And then this was the reversal blimp. When you're trading against the current like that, don't expect to make crazy moves. I was being a little overzealous, thinking it would go all the way back up to the high of day, but like, it's possible. I don't think it would do it on this trade. And I don't particularly like trading from a past 11-ish, just because the volume drops off significantly and the moves take a lot longer to happen, if they happen. So at that point, I'd rather not waste my time, all things considered. Bright side is I'm more or less back to where I was initially with my account in the past 2 days. I had a very massive loss on Friday, and that's kind of why I decided to start streaming it. Because at least like reading your journal and going over the photo of what the chart looked like helps, but being able to hear yourself talk through your own bullshit of the trade, that helps a significant amount more, at least in my opinion. So yeah, I think we're at the bottom of the market. I think this is going to try to go up for another one. This could be a W bottom or a double bottom, as long as if this comes down a little bit lower. It could also be a reverse head and shoulders. So that's also another shot. And see, like, part of me wants to sit here and trade this, but I feel like at that point is me being greedy because I missed out on this trade. What to do? I mean, yeah, I'm done. I'm not going to sit here and stare at it and then trick myself into entering another trade. So charts are going down. Thank you for watching, guys. Appreciate you guys looking over this. I'm pretty sure no one's in this yet, but again, this is for educational not education whatsoever. This is entertainment purposes only. This is for entertainment purposes only, and more or less my own side of watching myself trade through blah, blah, blah. It's also for me to have a visual trading journal of watching, so I could watch it back. And if somebody sees it and comments and gives me more feedback on how to improve, by all means, I'll take it. But yeah, this is for me to keep myself accountable and for me to entertain, hopefully, or fairly enough, a decent bit, and then also to document my progression in a different way. Yeah, for entertainment and documentation. That's about it, really. Anyway, I'm glad to have you guys here. Even though I know I'm talking to myself, obviously, because I'm in my room, but also that no one else is watching, especially this deep into a stream. But I want to believe somebody's is gonna look over this. Regardless, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow.